my fellow player army. Today we are doing the Fallout 4 review. Alongside me today, my team, we have obviously myself, Matthew, we have Chris, we have Billy.
So
today we are going to obviously be reviewing Fallout 4. We are going to be going over in three separate sections: the gameplay itself, the storyline, and the polish. So the gameplay, how it runs, are there any glitches, whatever. When it comes to this game, we'll be doing things like, is the main plot good? Do they have good storylines outside of the main story? Is the dialogue smooth? And myself will be doing I will be doing the polish. I'll be doing things like, does it run well? Are the graphics good? How does everything come together to support the actual game itself? So Chris will start us off with the gameplay, and then Billy will take the second section, the storyline, then I shall do the polish. So without further ado, Chris, lead the way.
Hello, and I've got one problem with this. As fun as the gameplay with this game can be, a much easier shooter compared to the other previous Fallout games. I know most of you would probably go for me that, but there is a larger player base out there now, so please don't yell at me. A lot more people who have played the Elder Scrolls games might find this a little more easy to navigate the menus, though it's not really that different from previous ones. Maybe a little bit of tweak there. I don't find the new host for Diamond City Radio that great. He's a little coward. He sucks. But other than that, the game runs pretty smoothly. Character creation works pretty well, besides the occasional loading error, or, well, frame rate. Then there's also the companion quests and how the quests work and more about tracking things, but that's all usually standard Fallout stuff. Most of you would already know that. Even if you played the Elder Scrolls games, it's pretty obvious. And they're right, Matt.
Yeah, as an Elder Scrolls fan myself, even though this was my first Fallout game, I found myself in very familiar territory.
Well, besides shooting bullets at different caliber guns instead of hitting people with swords, there are swords in this game, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I just winged it. Thought I was playing COD.
Yeah, there's a more, slightly more Call of Duty feel in the controls now, though still press Y or triangle to jump depending on what console you're on. Sorry people, we don't use PC for Fallout.
Design choice. Thanks Bethesda, we love you.
Press Y to jump. Okay, now onto most of the game itself is pretty standard for a Fallout game. So now to building. Most of you played Fallout 3 would at least know of the base builder mod, which sadly for us console players we weren't allowed access to. Until this recently with Fallout 4, where they integrated the mod into the game, but with one problem. Why did he design the fact that you interact with the same object along with place by pressing A? Or X. Or X. That's kind of a stupid design choice. You're trying to place an object and you accidentally pick something up. God damn it.
Yeah, it was like...
You at least figure that out.
I was playing...
Press A to do everything.
Chris, may I interject here?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
When it came to that, it went well, but it felt like I was playing Sims on a console. That is all.
I have to agree with you.
Sims looks a lot better than that. It looks a lot less nuked. It looks a lot less terminated.
What are you expecting? It's Fallout.
Exactly, that's my point.
Well, only about 8 of the expansion packs, about a third of the whole thing doesn't look nuked, let's be honest here. Sims is ridiculous, but we're getting on.
We'll have to do that. We'll cover Sims in a later episode, so subscribe.
Yeah, let's stop this job about Sims. So, besides that, the building does remind a lot of people about Sims, and I guess you could probably reference it to some of the older Halo games. Forge, maybe a little bit towards 4. Yeah, gotta love Forge. Weapon crafting, the lack thereof is pretty decent. The mere fact that you are making the weapon, you just find it modded. This actually helped a lot. Though, yeah, it's not really that new. Though for people who haven't played this game, it's probably maybe the biggest feat against this Elder Scrolls series. Isn't that right, Matt?
Yeah, it's the most the most you could do in terms of modern weapons and armor in Elder Scrolls games is quite obviously when you augment it using your blacksmithing skill, or you could enchant it. But this is a lot different in the way it's all set up and everything. Obviously, because they had to exclude magic, and it's more gun-like, so more options they could choose from instead of just sharpening the blade or whatever.
One thing about this game, I have to say, though, loading screens. Why? Just why? Loading screens. The elevator is a very, very, very small interactive loading screen. You fast travel, there's a loading screen. You autosave, the game freezes. The game switches out repeatedly. Let alone the fact that you can just use the dog to duplicate weapons, or use water purifiers to make a shit ton of caps. And trust me, it works.
Yeah, can I interject there?
Yeah, sure.
Talking of glitches, I think that the Honest Game trailers really put this well. It isn't a Bethesda game if it's not corrupting my save files. Glitches,
That's true.
not just in Fallout 4, but in many Bethesda games, which we might cover later, probably not, because we're trying to focus more on modern games.
We said we can't go back to Skyrim.
Yeah. True that.
I'm not saying that. I love Skyrim. We may go back to it.
Who doesn't love
Subscribe if you
Skyrim?
want to see us, dude.
If you want an Elder Scrolls game, don't play it, so that is all I have to say about that.
Yeah, so shit out.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, back to you, Chris.
And then the mere fact that the game has the multiple times of your companion goes from being probably the most badass person you could probably meet at Wasteland, who can actually shoot straight, to suddenly being frozen in a spot with their arms hanging up in the air and their face looking down on the ground. What?
Yeah.
And the occasional glitch of, you goddamn killed me. I'm gonna lay on the floor and somehow teleport magically, but not give a shit. You cannot res me.
Yeah. Let's be honest, Chris, here. Companions in this game are very, very, shall we say, inconsistent. Reminds me of just yesterday I was doing a mission and I got stuck with a skull character, so obviously a character many times my level. Anyway, so I kept getting screwed over by this guy because my rads was 50% of my entire health bar, and I only had 50% of what I did have available to me in health, so I was getting one-shotted by this thing. And sometimes Preston would be helpful in trying to beat this guy. Other times he got in the way and got me killed. It took me about 15 dies just to get past that little area. But,
I prefer Papa myself, though. Constant excuse of, even though I don't have the gun, I'm gonna use it. A 10mm pistol does occasionally annoy me, considering the fact that she has one of the more powerhouse weapons of the game. Still confuses the hell out of me why she doesn't use it. And the mere fact that when she thinks something's better than what she's got, she'll pick it up, usually means she's hitting me with a flamethrower. And that is not fun. Work on your aim. Also, warning to anyone who decides to give a companion grenades besides Dogmeat. You just screwed yourself over. Chances of hitting you with said grenade is 95% chance.
Nice. Does that it, Chris?
Yeah, fun. Friendly fire. Yeah, sure. Billy, I think you're up.
Alright. Sweet. Yeah, Fallout 4's story is very cohesive to the game itself. It starts out with you in your house, doing your daily jobs, whatnot, hanging out with your wife/husband, depending on which gender you pick. And then shit just hits the fan. Fuck. And then you see on the news that everywhere's just getting nuked. Shit, you see stuff explode. You run to a vault. You go in the vault. And then shit just happens. You go into cryo sleep, I believe. You wake up.
time, yeah.
Your wife gets shot. Your son gets stolen. Fallout 4 happens. And then you just go on to try and find your son. Yeah, the character's very good as well. People, like, your dialogue choices are sometimes good, but a lot of the times if you pick dialogue choices, they'll all have the same outcome, which is really, really irritating, because it limits a lot of the creativeness, I suppose, of your options. And then
I take the exception of the young liar.
What was that? English, please?
Taking the fact the games prior had multiple different responses to different options.
Yeah, that's true. And
Don't forget the karma system. That's something important.
yeah,
There's no karma system.
yeah, with the karma system, like if you at the end of wait, should I include spoilers in this? Actually, I'll put a disclaimer at the start.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I'll put
there are
spoilers
spoilers in this video.
No, that was bound to happen.
And then that was terrible animation. Then it goes into, at the end, where you've got to choose between the Institute and the Brotherhood. If you choose the Brotherhood, you have to destroy the Institute. If you choose the Institute, you basically just start taking over everything.
Actually, can I please interject at the end right there?
Yeah, go ahead.
There isn't 2 options at the end of the game, there's actually 3.
Oh yeah, Railroad, right.
There's the Railroad,
Railroad.
the Institute, and the Brotherhood.
Yeah, I've got
Brotherhood is
Railroad.
wipe everyone out, Institute is wipe everyone out, and Railroad is wipe out the Brotherhood and the Institute, leave Minutemen and everyone else alone.
Yeah, well of course you leave the
Look at
Minutemen. Minutemen don't do anything except Preston saying that you've got another settlement to help.
Yeah, true that.
Fuck you, Preston.
So if you join the Brotherhood or the Institute, you kind of have to get rid of them, they become a nuisance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Honest Game Trailer said. Grind endless quests like an MMO if you join them in.
I'll leave a link to
Yeah.
the Honest Trailers video in the description. Go watch that. It's pretty decent.
It's quite accurate to the actual game.
That's true, it's very accurate. Yeah, and places like Diamond City, each individual place there has their own story, like the robot you teach to love and it marries a human. Don't ask how that happens, that's just fucking weird.
None of us know.
And people like, in Good Neighbor, how they've got their own quests, and that guy with the Silver Shroud quests. Each individual place has its own new story to uncover and unveil and play through, I suppose. And each of it has its own outcomes, its own merits, its own downfalls. Places like when you have to go and save a guy's son and get his priceless sword for his family from I forgot the names now, shit. Yeah, every little spot in the game just has its own story, and which makes the game a really memorable choice for the Fallout series, and for games in 2015 in general. Yeah, now I suppose we go over the map to cover supplementaries. Go.
Right, so supplementaries. What we mean by supplementaries are how are the graphics, how's the soundtrack, does the game run smoothly, all the stuff that comes together just to polish the game and supplement the plotline and the gameplay itself. Now, Fallout 4 is a AAA game of one of the best and most famous game companies in the world in 2015. As a result, its graphics are top-notch. There are some failings here and there where they can be compared and come short compared to other games, but overall, yeah, go on.
We've got an interjection.
The graphics are actually not as high quality as they could have been. They're more matching slightly higher than the previous 3 in Vegas than they should be for a next-gen console.
Yeah, definitely. So they're not as good as they could be for the first Fallout game of the next-gen consoles, but nevertheless, they are good even on consoles. Obviously, if you're on a PC, they're a lot better, blah blah blah. And basically, console, PC, let's not go there. We don't want to start a PC console war again. we have those conversations too much anyway.
We will cover
so
that
the
at some point. We will do a console war and we'll look at everything and we'll decide out of Xbox and PlayStation, fuck Wii and fuck PC. Because we know PC wins and Wii U suck.
Wii sometimes wins when it comes to certain things, but let's be honest, you know, it's
Wii.
Okay,
Wii
fuck
is
that.
just-
Go back to reviewing Fallout, not Wii.
But let's stop talking about console.
back to Fallout 4.
Back to Fallout 4. Back
Okay,
to
back to
Fallout.
Fallout.
Go. Continue.
Okay, so... Oh, well, my brightness just turned up randomly. So, the soundtrack is quite enjoyable. I certainly found it engaging. It worked well when compared to things like Skyrim, which everyone knows the Skyrim soundtrack was amazing. So it's got its good points, like some of its battle music is really pumping, it gets you going, it's very good. Obviously some of its other music is not as amazing, but every soundtrack has its good songs and its bad songs. Some of the songs you find on the radio stations are good, they're funny, they're upbeat, they're just fun to listen to while you're gleefully murdering raiders. So I especially found that the Diamond City radio station had a lot better songs than the other one, which I can't remember the name of.
Classic.
The game, the classical, that's it. The game runs smoothly for the most part. Obviously, with it being a Bethesda game, as we went over earlier, it has its glitches and things that haunt your nightmares. But
Freezes and game corruption.
freezes, game corruption, loading hell. Let's be honest, it's all there.
Loading.
All in all, in terms of supplements and how the game's been polished, I think just like every good Bethesda game, it's good. It's got its downfalls, but it's overall a lot better than it is worse. That's how our opinion on the supplement and the polish goes. Now it's time for us to give each a 10 out of 10 rating on each particular portion of the game given by the host of that particular section, and then we'll average it out for the final score.
Alright,
Chris?
go.
I'm gonna give it just on gameplay alone. I would realistically plan on giving it a 9, but considering some of the bugs at the moment are from previous games that should have been fixed by now, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay, 8. Billy?
Story. The writing for it is good, so I'm going with a 9. It's pretty solid.
9. So for the supplement and the polish, it's very good. It's got its downfalls, but it's mostly good. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So this means if we put it all together, we have
25 out of 30.
So
it's about a 7.
7.5-ish. 1 second, I'll grab my calculator.
We don't actually. It's about a 7-8. 7 or 8 out of 10.
I'd say about 7.5 to 8.5
I've got
out
a
of 10.
7.5. Send this out, Matt.
If you found this helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Have a nice day. This is the Gamers vs. Players team signing out.